What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, March 9th, 2019. I hope you're doing good. Let's talk about Litecoin right now. I want to jump right into the charts. There's a lot going on. There is this upward trend that we've been in for months now, and many people are extremely bullish on Litecoin for good reason. Look how bullish Litecoin has been. But there are some really key areas I really want to point out to everybody. And before we do, I want to go over two really quick tweets. This is the foundation to my approach to technical analysis, so I think it's relevant to bring this up. I said, I'm happy with my Litecoin portfolio. If the upside continues, this avoids fear of missing out. Number two, I'm prepared for a retracement to $30 to $35 area. This would be a realistic and healthy pullback for Litecoin, and I would be heavily accumulating. We're going to talk about that in this video. And then I tweeted another tweet a couple days ago. I said, this is Litecoin in 2015, 8 days after the 50 EMA crossed above the 200 EMA, and 1 month before the halving, down over 70%. Not being negative, but I think there's way too much hype without balanced anticipation. This was ultimately a good indicator for Litecoin, but the bulls take time. So I want to start off this video by looking at this. Just because I see so many comments about the halving now, the halving is really fast approaching. And here's the halving in 2015. And I just, maybe you haven't seen this, right? And I wanted to point it out because I think generally when I'm on crypto Twitter or YouTube, I see just kind of this mindset that now that the halving is continuing or it is approaching, that Litecoin is just kind of going to do this, right through the halving. And that is not historically the case. And here's just a really good picture of Litecoin halving back in 2015. Obviously, some ridiculous gains leading up to that halving, right? We're talking 500% gains. But then to the downside, we can look at the downside and we see it retraced, over 70% back down. And that was actually leading into the halving. So extreme volatility. And I think it's really important to just have that in the back of your mind as this halving approaches, because we're most likely going to see extreme volatility. And it's not something you really want to get caught up in. You want to be mentally prepared for it. So here we are. Here's the charts. I put this up there because I wanted to see, leading up to that last halving, we saw some great gains, 500 some percent. What would something like that look like this time around? $150 Litecoin leading up to this halving. Am I saying that's going to happen just because it happened last time? No, but I always want to illustrate the similarities between the move in Litecoin historically and today. So that would be that. But right now we're really trying to look short term. What is Litecoin doing, and is Litecoin actually going to continue this current bull trend to the upside? We're watching this 50 EMA, the 200 EMA, and now we can really kind of dig into the charts and take a look at where we are right now. So a few things I want to look at right now, and I think they're really important. Number one, the Fibonacci retracement. This is probably one of our shorter term things that we can look for in terms of support, right? So Fibonacci retracement on the daily chart, and right now we're really focused not on the larger uptrend that we see, this rising wedge, but this smaller one, this new channel that was created in this big move back in early February. So we're around a month into this upward wedge right here. That's what we're focused on. So right now we're looking at this previous swing low to the bottom of that wedge to current swing high, right? And we're seeing some heavy resistance right here around $59. That's what we're looking at in terms of this current Fibonacci retracement, right? This would be a very well anticipated move for Litecoin. So swing low to swing high, and we have our Fibonacci retracement right around the area that you see I have highlighted here. It's around $50 down to $47. That's like our first area of potential pullback, a retracement. And in these wedges, this Fibonacci retracement always serves us well in anticipating these moves. So that's our first area of support to the downside right now from where we are. That's a swing low of around 12 to around 16%. right? That's a pretty big move, and that can happen very quickly. That could all happen within like a 4 hour candle or even an hourly candle. That's how these cryptocurrencies move. So that's our first area of support. This is kind of more talking about potential downswing of Litecoin. So I just want to give you some things to look out for on the downside. The next area of support, if that doesn't hold, right? Because keep in mind, you have the 200 EMA right here confluent with this retracement area on the daily chart. Huge area of support that we want to see Bitcoin hold above. If that doesn't hold and this Fibonacci doesn't hold and the bottom trend line of this new wedge doesn't hold, our next support, you might think naturally, is this next lower trend line of this larger wedge, but it's really not. And this might be the more critical and crucial area of support is the 50 EMA on the daily chart. We've been talking about it like all year long through this bear market, overcoming the 50 EMA and then finally staying above the 50 EMA. So if we test that area, we're looking in the low $40 range, as I do this video today. And it's something to just be mindful of, to keep in the back of your mind. And I can't sit here and predict what's going to happen, but we wait for confirmations, right? So if this support doesn't hold in this very key support area, it's something to look out for is more downside to this 50 EMA. And if that doesn't hold, then we're talking things can get extremely messy because our next support from there is the bottom trend line of this longer term rising wedge, right? And Fibonacci retracement even plays into that. You take this swing low of that wedge to most previous swing high, and you see 786 to 618 channel down here below the 50 EMA confluent with this trend line. That's our next area of support. So if Litecoin does kind of start seeing some downside and retracement, these are stepping stones of support that you just want to watch. You want to watch for confirmation. Lack of support is extremely important to watch out for. So this is technical analysis. The purpose of it is so that you can be prepared for these moves and you can mentally be ready if you see lack of support to know what you're going to do in terms of accumulating. If you're a trader, making your moves, but I would never speak to trading. I would never tell you anything that resembles financial advice. So these are my indicators that I have set up. These are things I'm looking for. So those are things to the downside. But the bigger question to ask with all of that context is this question that I have on the screen. The pattern will break. The question is which way. So we have a really long-term pattern here in this rising wedge. Going back to mid-December, that swing low, the $20 area. And since then, Litecoin has risen over 160%. We've created this long-term rising wedge. And the fact of the matter is, when it happens, I don't know, but this rising wedge will break. And it's going to break to the upside or it's going to break to the downside. So we have our targets to the upside for a break above this wedge. If this bull trend continues, it could continue today. We could break this $59 resistance and we can break this wedge, our first confirmation, and on our way to a $90 target, right? This could happen. But on the flip side, if all these support areas that we have, very important support areas, fail for Litecoin, a break to the downside has our target around $25, if not down to around $22. So the volatility that is ahead of us, that is in play right now, is ridiculous. We're talking to the upside break, 50% plus to the upside, and to the downside, even more volatile, over 50% to the downside. Some big losses for people that are not prepared for a move like that. At the end of the day, I'm providing you data, but it really does stem back to this. The question is, are you happy with your Litecoin portfolio if the upside continues? If we hit $90, right? If we get an upward target, an upward break through this rising wedge, are you happy with your portfolio right now? And at the very same time you're answering that question, are you prepared for further downside? Are you happy with the amount of money you have invested? Or does it kind of scare you? Are you taking too much risk? That is it. answer those two questions together at the same time and find your comfort zone. Don't take financial advice from anybody on YouTube or really anywhere else. So these are my thoughts. March 9th, 2019. We'll see what happens. Follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, Crypto Capital Venture. I try and update as things move along and progress. But right now, we obviously have some resistance at this $59 area, up at the upper end of this rising wedge. So definitely, it's likely that we might have a small retracement, at least to the 200 EMA. We could see some downside in the coming days, but time will tell. Maybe the bulls will step in and this ride to the upside will continue. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you're doing well out there, everybody. It's definitely been fun watching Litecoin move and lead the markets here. I appreciate all of you coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.